What is Parliament?
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Ignited Minds. So today we are going to study about a chapter from Political Science Class 8th. Now these days, if you open a news channel, you will either have news of Lok Sabha or Rajya Sabha or several kinds of bill being passed, like the farmers bill, etc. etc. So it should make you curious to know how are these bills formed, how are these bills passed, and who are the ones who are responsible for passing of these laws. There are so many incidents because of which the law and order of our country has been questioned. So it's important for us to know who is managing this law and order in the country and how it takes place in India. So the chapter that we are going to study today is why do we need a parliament? But before starting, it is equally important to know what is a parliament. So we'll start from the parliament. First and foremost, this word parliament is derived from parlor, which means to talk. To talk or to discuss. Now if you imagine the scene of few parliaments, you can see that there are so many people seated having a mic and discussing and speaking. So parliament is meant to speak and discuss. Now speak and discuss what? About the laws of the country, about the betterment of the country. This parliament in Hindi is also known as Bharatiya Sansad. And if you must have heard in the news, it is basically located in Delhi, right? Parliament House is located in Delhi. Now this parliament is bicameral legislature, right? This body is bicameral means it has two houses primarily. Parliament consists of one president and two houses known as Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha. Now these houses are also known by other names. The other name of Rajya Sabha is Council of States. You also call Rajya Sabha as Council of States, and Lok Sabha is known as House of the People. Rajya Sabha has total 245 seats and Lok Sabha has total 543 seats. Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha together constitute a part of central government, and Vidhan Sabha and Vidhan Parishad are state government. As simple as that, central government deals with the affairs of the center, right? And state government deals with the affair of state. Now, the members of these two houses, now as I said, there are 245 seats and 543 seats. So obviously these seats are for the members of Rajya Sabha and for the members of Lok Sabha. So the members of Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha are called members of parliament, right? The members of Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha are called members of parliament. Now as I told you, the president, this president is actually appointed by the members of parliament. Now who are the members of parliament? Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha. So this 245 plus 543 votes against or in favor of the appointed president. So these two are responsible for appointing the very own president. And president has got full power in the parliament. President has full authority to take any action against any of these houses. The president also has the right to dissolve this Lok Sabha. Dissolve means to break this Lok Sabha. But Rajya Sabha is not dissolvable. You cannot break down the Rajya Sabha. It is a permanent body that will remain constant. But Lok Sabha, at any point of time, if the president feels, along with the advice of Prime Minister, President is also supposed to take the advice from the Prime Minister, and if both agrees, then this Lok Sabha can be resolved. Now let's come on to how are these members of parliament elected. So in case of Lok Sabha, it is we who are directly appointing the Lok Sabha people. That means all the 543 are directly appointed or elected by the people. But in case of Rajya Sabha, the members are elected by Vidhan Sabha, which is also known as State Legislative Assembly. So President is appointed by Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha. Lok Sabha people are appointed by directly people. Rajya Sabha people or the Council of States people are directly appointed by the State Legislative Assembly, and in this assembly they can have at most 60 to 500 people, not less than 60 and not more than 500. President is appointed by the members of Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha. So now this was a short overview of what a parliament is. Now we will see what is the role of parliament, or why do we need a parliament.
Why should people decide?
Now, the next important point after knowing about parliament is, why should people decide? Why is it important for all of us to be a part in the decision making process? I mentioned a date, 15 August 1947. Now it is known to all of us that it is the same day when India got independence. Before independence, it was a colonial rule. That means the Britishers ruled us and they did not allow us to take decision. So some of the decisions of Britishers were accepted while some of the decisions were not accepted. But what if in case they were not accepted? Could the Indians do anything? Because they were slaves, so they had no option to speak up against the Britishers. Now this condition led to the formation of nationalists who wanted to change the way things are taking place in India. So with the help of nationalists and in the National Congress, collectively asked for a legislative body in year 1885. They finally spoke up that we need to have a small legislative body in which people can take the decision and can ask the question as well. Suppose if the Britishers have passed on a budget and the Indians are not satisfied with it, so they wanted to constitute a small legislative body where the people can actually challenge the decisions of the Britishers. So after a lot of attempts, the Government of India Act 1909, finally a small legislative body was formed of nationalists and people who could finally challenge the questions and decision of the government.
Functions of Parliament.
Next, people and their representatives. Now, why do we require representatives in a parliament or in a government? Representatives' role is to just pass on the decision taken by a group of people. Now, suppose in elections, we elect people. Why do we elect? So that whatever we need is conveyed through those people to the government of India. Now, if you like the decision taken by the government of India, you do vote for them. If you do not like the decision taken by the government, the only option is not to vote. So, supposedly, A is the government here and C is the normal people like us. And we want to communicate something directly to the government. So, one way of doing it is to elect the representatives who can convey your point to the government.
Role of Parliament.
Now coming on to the role of Parliament. There are three basic roles of Parliament. First is to select the national government. Now in the starting I have already told you the government is already a part of the Parliament, which further consists of Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. So when Lok Sabha elections are done, the government or the Parliament checks how many MP are in which party. There are so many parties, so they check the elected MPs are from which party. Now there are 543 seats and there are so many parties, so one party who wants to be a part of the government should have at least 272 seats or more. The elected members of the same party should have 272 seats or more, only then they can be able to form the government or be a part of Lok Sabha. Now it rarely happens that a single party is able to get 272 seats, because it may happen that there are several MPs and they all are from different parties, or one single party is not able to form 272 seats. So in that case, a coalition government is formed in which two political parties who have the same concern or same reason can join together and form a government. Now coming on to Rajya Sabha, it is actually very important. Why? For any bill that is supposed to be made a law, or for any bill that is supposed to be passed, it has to necessarily go through Rajya Sabha. Any bill that is passed has to be approved by Rajya Sabha. All the changes and alterations can be done in the Rajya Sabha itself. Now in Rajya Sabha there are 233 members, as I told you, which are directly appointed by the people, and amongst those 233, 12 are elected by the president. So now it equals to 245, right? So in this 245, 12 are elected by the president and 233 are elected directly by the people. Now once the MPs are selected, once the Lok Sabha members are selected, the Prime Minister will select few people from here to work with him, or who can give a suggestion to him, or who can give advice to him in several other sectors like Health Minister, Education Minister, Finance Minister. These all are elected through the same Lok Sabha election, and the Prime Minister selects those specific people to work with him. Now the second is to control, guide and inform government. This is a very important concept. Whenever the parliament starts, it starts with a question hour. Now the question hour is where you have to, all the MPs can ask the government. Suppose I am not a ruling party, I come from the opposition party, so I will have the right to ask the government that their decision was not correct, or if I want to know why the decision was made. So this is also the role of parliament, to give everyone the opportunity to ask during the question hour, to guide, control and inform the government in case they are not correct. The third is law making process. All the law that are being made up in the country is definitely passed. As I told you, from a bill to a law, it is already passed in the parliament. Now I've told you how do ruling party are selected. What about the opposition parties? When the ruling party people are decided, then the remaining ones who come in the opposition together form a opposition party. The ruling ones are decided already. After that, all those who are left and those who are against that particular notion form a opposition party. So this was small chapter about what is a parliament, what is the role of parliament, and why do we need parliament, why do we need representatives. I hope this chapter and the concepts are clear to you. If it is clear and understood well, please go like and subscribe your YouTube channel. Thank you.